Hello, hello.
Hello, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Chris.
Thanks, man. It's nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you too, Christopher.
I just want to say I'm sorry for mixing up the times. It won't happen again, man.
No,
I
no
feel really
worries,
bad
man. You're all
about it.
good, bro. I mean, I understand. It happens. To the best of us
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I got my meeting from or not yesterday, from tomorrow mixed up. I messed up the times. I'm so sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. You're good,
Um,
man.
but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to turn my camera on, but it seems like it won't let me.
All right. Are you on your phone right now? On your computer?
No, I'm on my computer, but for some reason it says there's no camera able to detect, but huh, it's really weird. It's never happened before. I'm really sorry about that. Let me see if I can get that fixed.
Yeah, if you could try clicking on the video and then
Yeah, no, I am, but it's just saying Zoom is unable to detect the camera.
hmm,
Um, Really weird though, because it's literally on right here. But if possible, maybe I could rejoin and try it one more time.
yeah, no, yeah,
Um,
try. Go ahead.
that's good with you.
Yeah. Go ahead. Try
All
that.
right, all right. So I'll be right back then.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Let me see.
Hey man.
How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, seems like it's still not working. It's really weird.
See, how do-
I don't know what it is, man. Um, Camera privacy. Yeah, man, I don't know what it is.
or maybe
I'm sorry
the
about that.
the settings in your computer. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm looking at it right now. It seems like Zoom has access, but I wonder why it's not working.
yeah, that's a little strange. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, usually when I meet up with people and then I like to have a camera
No,
on
no,
so we can
yeah.
see each other.
100% me too, man. Like that's why I really wanted to be able to turn on my camera, but um if not, I could try joining through like maybe my phone or something so like you could see me
Hmm.
to see if that works.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I
Yeah,
could
you
tr
could try joining through your phone and then let me know how that works.
All right, yeah, let me try that real quick. I okay, what do you think would be better? Do you think I should stay like on my computer so I could talk and then have my phone as video, or should I just completely switch to my phone?
You could just completely switch to your phone. I mean, I think that would be just more convenient.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, let me do that then real quick. Just so then I can set it up. I'll be right back, man. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. You're good. All right. There you
Man,
go. How's it going, Christopher?
how's it going, man? I'm doing good. Can you sing pretty well?
Yeah, 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 I can see you, man.
All right, okay, that's great.
There you
How
go.
you been, man? How you doing? Okay, I'm glad you could finally see me now, man.
No, yeah, me too. I mean, like I just assume what you look like based off your
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but
Mm-hmm.
no, yeah, man, it's great to actually see you now. But
No,
yeah, I
good.
mean, my day's going pretty good.
Mhm.
Finally back home from Merced from
Yeah, I know
for the
that's
break,
great.
so it
Yeah.
feels good. I'm over here from a little bit up north from San Francisco, like
Mhm.
part of the Bay Area. Where are you from?
Oh yeah, I'm from so you know where Sacramento is?
Uh huh.
Okay, so basically it's a little town right below. It's kind of like South Sac. It's called Elk Grove. That's where I'm from.
Oh, okay, okay. So like yeah, like right under Sacramento then,
Yeah.
right? Okay, for
Mm.
sure. Yeah, I've heard of that area before. I actually
Oh,
have some
nice.
family that lives in Sacramento, so I'm pretty sure I pass it.
Oh,
Like I
really?
pass along through there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, usually a lot of people don't know Grove, so most of the time I just say I'm from Sacramento, but
yeah. No, yeah, that's pretty. I know what you mean by that, bro. But
yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, I know you're here. You're interested in the
Yeah.
business opportunity, but
Mhm.
I mean, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit more. I know we have
Yeah.
the same name. I was like, oh, Christopher, and you spell it a
Yeah,
little
I know.
differently.
That's
But I was like, dang, man, yeah. I actually had a question. Like, are you Mexican or like Latino?
yeah, I am. My both family sides, my mom and my dad, both from Mexico. I think my dad came here when he was 17 and my mom was just born here.
Okay, for sure. Do you know what part of
Yeah.
Mexico they're from? Or your dad's from?
Um, my dad has told me a couple times, but I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him because I
Yeah.
literally don't remember.
No,
I
yeah.
know that he's told me, but I
Like
can't
off
think
the
of it
top
off
of
the
your
top
head,
of
no,
my
yeah,
head.
definitely.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, man. I mean, I just kind of wanted, to get to know you a little
Mm.
bit more. That's pretty much what this
Yeah,
meeting
no,
is gonna
that
be
sounds great.
about. I know
Mm-hmm.
I offered you like a business opportunity, but I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
the first time I'm getting to know you. The first time
Oh
you're
no,
gonna
yeah,
get to,
100%. I mean, we got to get to know each other first before we kind of get into like a more,
yeah,
deeper
exactly.
into this. I get what you mean.
No, yeah, exactly. And I want you to get to know, who I am, what my values are, what my goals are, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
like my background. But I actually wanted to ask, what major are you
Mm-hmm.
in? I mean, I know you're studying at UC
Um,
Merced, right?
yeah, I'm actually a mechanical engineering major
Mm-hmm.
currently. I was a CSE, but I switched out of it. I don't know, coding wasn't for me, man.
No, I feel that. I feel that. I'm taking ME 21 right now, Python.
Mhm. Oh yeah, Python and MATLAB, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just it's not for me. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
how. I'm passing with the B, but if I'm being completely honest, like I have no idea what to do in that class.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
coding is just like there's just so much you can do with it. Like it's very much of a problem solving type of skill.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you, so
Mhm.
I offered you a business opportunity and you're a mechanical
Mhm.
engineer major. Like,
Yeah.
it's like what kind of like made you, like what caught your interest?
Honestly, okay, so this is a little bit more about me, but
Hmm.
so currently I'm in a program, NSF Corps.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically like so it's kind of like a whole process. You get interviewed, right? You go through this process. If you get selected, you go to 2 training days. They're both so long, like 7 hours. But
It's
you
a lot.
you go like to training days, right? And then after the training days, you get put up into groups, and basically the groups they could be like groups of four, or three, two.
Mm-hmm.
But you get put up in groups, and then you get assigned with a professor. And so then once you get assigned with a professor, you're assigned to professor not through like randomly. Like when they interview you, they ask you certain things like, like, oh, what would you
Mm-hmm.
say like if you're good at this or you're good at web design or like they ask you for certain skills. And then based off that, they'll put you with certain professors based on what other people said.
Okay.
And so I'm currently with Professor Nee, and he is in bioengineering. He does gene therapy, cell therapy, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so for NSFI Corps, I have to go through every single one of their events, right? and their events are more tailored towards small businesses and kind of business owners. And so I would say that recently, like, I don't know, it's just been everywhere and everything that I've seen, right? Like business this, business that. And I don't think before I wasn't really too interested in being part of something or, you know, like working in that kind of area or in something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think recently more as I've been exposed to this kind of like world of business and of small businesses and hearing and going to these events and hearing like these small business owners talk about how like their journey of like their 6 years and how they're still going and how even though like it was hard that you should keep going and keep persevering, right? And so I feel like while before it wasn't ever something that I would have had an interest in,
Mm-hmm.
because of how much I've been exposed recently, I feel like it's something that's really caught my attention and something that I really at least want to learn about, and try to get into, you know?
No, yeah, definitely. And I mean, Christopher, I really appreciate you sharing that with me because
Yeah,
I mean, kind of like similar to me, you know,
yeah,
I feel like I was exposed to to like business owners at a very young age. Working with my dad when I was 12, 13 years old. I saw
yeah,
his boss, who was the business owner of the
mhm,
restaurant, and
mhm,
he had that like lifestyle. So like what I would say, like what I got from you is, since you've been exposed to that type of environment,
mhm.
you've kind of been able to see like the growth and the lifestyle of a business
Yeah,
owner.
no,
And me
definitely
personally,
100%.
that's kind of, I'd say, what drives me, having that lifestyle that my mentor
Hmm.
has. Because, I could just tell you a little bit about him, but I mean, I can get into that a little bit later. But I
Uh-huh.
mean, that's like why I really like love this business owner, mindset,
Hmm.
because, like the lifestyle that I want is a business owner
Hmm.
lifestyle.
Yeah, no,
And
100%. I get it.
their
I
lifestyle,
definitely understand.
no, yeah. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, it's all good. It's all great. I mean, it's great knowing about you too. But no, that's really interesting that you say that because similarly, my dad back when he was like literally when I was like probably 10, 9, 8, he used to take me. So he's a store owner currently
Hmm.
for a laundromat.
Okay.
And back when I was younger, um, because back when I was younger, we didn't really have like he couldn't hire a babysitter, right? So
Yeah.
he would just kind of take me to work, and I would just chill there with him for like I don't know, however long his workday was, you know.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting because he would just, I would just watch him. I would just watch him, go through like the money spent for the day, go through how much they made, go through like every single little aspect, and it just like I don't know, like seeing this side of going through these events has really like kind of made me remember those moments and those times that I've been with my dad and things like that. So it's really interesting, honestly, hearing you have a similar experience.
No, yeah, no, and thank you for sharing. I mean, wait, so you said your dad's like what? He's like a little business owner of his own.
Yeah, a little store owner.
Okay, that's nice, and that's really interesting. It reminds me a lot about like also my father. He has his own
Mhm.
taco truck business right now. Right now he isn't
Oh, nice.
no, yeah, right now he isn't up and running, but he was a year ago. He's gonna
Mhm.
open up again in January. But
Mhm.
besides that, I mean, ever since I was a kid, since like my middle school, no, since elementary school, middle school,
Mhm.
and then a little bit up into high school,
Mhm.
I was always that kid, with like Arizonas and like chips in my backpack.
Yeah.
I was always flipping things. I was always, like
Mhm.
flipping scooter parts, flipping slime,
Oh, I
fidget
know exactly
spinners,
what you're talking
like the
about. Yeah.
rainbow loom bracelets, like a bunch of like anything I can think of. I was always so creative with it, but I always found a
Uh,
way to make money. And there
mhm,
was a
no,
reason behind it,
100%.
not just because I wanted money,
Mhm.
but because I saw how much my parents struggled,
Mhm. Yeah,
financially,
no.
growing up, kind of like my parents didn't have enough for a babysitter, they weren't really able to
Yeah.
spend a lot of time with us as a kid because
Mhm.
they were always working on two jobs, just trying to be able to provide, put a roof over our heads, and giving
Mhm.
like having food on the table. So most of the time growing up, I was always living with like my aunts, living with the large like family because we weren't able to just live off of just one income, so we had to like move in together. So I'd say growing up, never really had my own room, not until I was like
Mhm.
like a senior in high school, like my last year,
Yeah.
like, and then I moved out to college, so it's like I only had my own room for like
Yeah.
1 year. But I mean, even to this day now, my parents are still on Section 8 housing, and
Mhm.
just seeing them struggle financially, like every time I come back from break, they don't really need to tell me that
Yeah.
they're
No.
stressed out with money. I can just see it, and when they do
Mhm.
tell me, it hurts me a lot because this has been like an ongoing cycle, like my whole life,
Yeah.
just seeing
No.
them. So. I've always thought of like other ways to create money without having to
Mhm.
ask my parents because I don't see it as like disrespectful, but it's like, if I don't have to ask them, I'm not gonna ask them because, they barely have enough for them and, for rent and for bills here, you know, let me be able to do that for myself. Let me become more independent so then I can help them if they need help. And I've really liked it because I mean, like, I don't know if you saw a little bit of my background on LinkedIn. I worked full
Mhm.
time at the bank only for like 3 months, but during
Mhm.
that time I was making some good income. And then just recently I stopped working at street level strategy. So I was like,
Mhm.
canvassing. And, it feels good being able to help my parents, maybe like 500, $1,000,
Mhm.
being able to help out with rent and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to, that's just a little bit like a little insight about me. I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to tell you more about me,
Mhm.
like why I'm doing on this, like kind of what I've gone through to get to the point where
Yeah,
I am
yeah, yeah.
today. Because if I'm being completely honest with you today, Christopher, I'm not the
Mhm.
same person I was my freshman year in high school. I mean, not high school,
Mhm.
freshman year in college. I'm a second year,
Mhm.
pursuing MBE, so Management in Business Economics. And, for the not the long time that I've been here in this business, that I've
Mhm.
been, doing this business, I've been able to develop myself, not just because it's business, but essentially, this is a selection process for a mentorship. Because
Mhm.
if you wanted to, you could do this business right now with no
Mhm.
guidance, with no help, and oh well, I mean,
Yeah, just completely all on your own.
yeah, most likely. I mean, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but most likely
Mhm.
you might fail because
Yeah,
you don't know
no, I
what to
understand.
expect.
I get it.
No, exactly. And so, we have a selection process for this mentorship to see if you're serious about
Mhm.
this, because it goes both ways. I want you to evaluate me, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm going to be evaluating you as well to see if,
Yeah,
this
100%.
potential
Mhm.
partnership can work. But I mean,
Mhm.
throughout like I'd say like these 5 months that I've been under this mentorship, I've been sober for like over 130 days that I haven't
Mhm.
smoked. I had a really big addiction with that my freshman year.
Mhm.
I was smoking, I was drinking, I was going to parties,
Mhm.
barely passing my classes. And I just felt
Mhm.
terrible because my parents, they would call me, "Oh, how's college going? How's this going?" And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's going great." And like little do I know, like I'm barely passing pre-calc, I'm barely passing calc. Like I'm doing all these things that are, negatively impacting me. I'm going to lecture high, all these things. And it's like, what am I
Mhm.
doing? I always knew that I wanted to do more in life, but the people that I
Mhm.
would surround myself with, my association at the time, wasn't the best. And something
Mhm.
that my coach, like really, like something that she told me that really like affected me was she told me, she's like, you're the average of the five people you hang around with. And if I'm being completely honest, the five people
Mhm.
that I used to hang around with, I asked them, all five of them, what are your goals? What do you want to do after college? Oh, like, what do you see yourself in the future? I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna work. I don't know. Like I'm here living in college. I don't need to think about that right now. So they didn't really have goals, or they didn't really have
Yeah, I see
values
what you mean.
that
It
align with
wasn't a
mine.
long term.
Exactly. And I was always seeing
Mhm.
long term. So I was like, why am I surrounding myself with these people if I'm just gonna
Mhm.
become the average of that? Like, and I really didn't want that
Yeah.
for myself.
Mhm.
And so you know, that's just a little bit of like my like say like my college experience, but I completely shifted
Mhm.
like my whole mindset. I'm not really hanging around with them too much. I might say hi here and there.
Mhm.
They're like an acquaintance now, but I'm never
Mhm.
really gonna like go out with them and pursue a friendship with them because they were
Yeah.
never really lifting me up. They were kind of just push like holding me down.
Mhm.
And the reason why I say association is so important was because when I was 15 years old, my freshman year of high school, I was hanging
Mhm.
around the wrong association as well. And
Mhm.
because of that, it actually landed me into, juvenile hall. And
Mhm.
doing that, like experiencing that it was like a pretty like, like traumatic experience. Like it was like like
Yeah,
flipping a
no,
switch.
definitely like an eye-opening type
Exactly. And
thing.
it really opened my eyes. And not only that, but I really affected my parents. They weren't
Mhm.
even mad at me. They weren't even like they were disappointed and they got depressed.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah,
And
no, I definitely can understand that. Yeah.
yeah, and like knowing that I did something like that that affected my parents like that bad, I felt like worse inside. And so I was like, okay, like how can I give back to my parents? Because if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even want to go to college. When I was in high
Mhm.
school, I just wanted to hang around. I wanted to work two jobs. I saw my brother get that nice BMW. He was working the graveyard shift and then working in the mornings at McDonald's. Like he was just working a lot. And yeah, he had
Mhm.
that nice car, but all he did was drive it to and from work. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no. And I was kind of like that. I'm like, he was always flexing. Oh, I have this nice car, this and that. And in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, he's only driving it to and from work. He's not really enjoying the car.
Yeah. No.
And
Mhm.
so something that this mentorship really like made me open my eyes to, is like me, I value time a lot more than I
Mm-hmm.
value money. Because money, I
Mm-hmm.
can make it, I can spend it, and I can always make it back. My
Yeah, those come
time,
back. Yeah.
once I invest it, I'm not making that back. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, kind of like going back to like my story, after I experienced that, I came out, I went to, continuation school because, all the school districts didn't really want me to go back to the district I was
Mm-hmm.
in. I had to
Mm-hmm.
really earn it to get to come back. I made it back, COVID happened, and then my mom was like, all right, you know what? I know it's not my son, it's the people he's hanging around with. And I was too
Mm-hmm.
blind to see that at the time. I was like, no, mom, I don't want to move schools, this, and that. But if my mom never like switched me school district and made me move to like a different county, I was in Sonoma County. I came back down to Marin County. And, all my friends back then, they're all doing like coke, a bunch of pills, hardcore drugs. And
Mm-hmm.
it really was like, wow, if my mom never did that, I could have been just like them. And
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
she switched me school districts, I took Avid. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not.
Oh yeah, I know what Avid is.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
college
So
prep program.
exactly, yeah. So I did that
Mm-hmm.
my junior year and my senior year, and because of that, my teacher in that class, her name was Dr. LB. She saw
Mm-hmm.
something in me that I couldn't even see in myself, and she was like, "Chris, you have so much potential. I see your ambition. I see this and this and that." I didn't believe in myself at the time because of everything I've gone through. I'm like, like I don't even think I can make it to a college, maybe like a community college, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was only gonna apply to community colleges, CSUs. She's like, Chris, apply to UCs. Your GPA isn't the worst. I had like a 3.4. It was all
Oh,
right.
it's not bad at all.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and she was all like, "Oh, like apply to UCs." I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I did it. I applied to UCs. UC Merced was the only one that accepted me." And I'm like, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna go. It has the best
Mm-hmm.
financial aid package. My parents won't have to stress so much financially,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the only one that accepted me. So why not go to like the best school
Yeah,
out of all the other
100%.
other schools, because I could
Yeah,
have gone to San
100%.
Francisco, Sonoma State, any other school, but I was like, no, you know what, UC
Mm-hmm.
Merced is far. I want something new, and
Mm-hmm.
another main reason that kind of like influenced my decision was the networking opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to expand your network because something that my mentor told me as well is it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, because literally like if you know people, you can be able to leverage them and
No,
get access to things
100%.
you need.
Connections can get you anywhere.
Exactly, exactly, yeah. And I mean, that kind of just led me to UC Merced. I told you like about like my
Mm-hmm.
first year, but now my second year, I'm striving. I have a better
Mm-hmm.
GPA. Just A's and B's, because this business shouldn't um, how should I put it? It shouldn't take a take away too much time from what you're doing. Like you can do
Mm-hmm.
it on the side, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you treat it like a side, like a hobby, it's gonna pay you like a hobby. But if you treat
Mm-hmm.
it like like you see this as like the vehicle to reach the destination to retire your parents, because that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really gonna
That's what it's gonna do.
it's gonna do
100%.
exactly that. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to, it doesn't matter how many hours you put in. You could put in 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week. Me personally, I like to do 20, 25, just because
Mm-hmm.
I am a full-time college student. I'm working part-time, doing this
Mm-hmm.
business, and then I do have a girlfriend, so I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
have one. They're very time consuming. They want a lot of
Yeah, no,
attention and stuff
100%. I
like that.
got you.
Yeah, and then like my family and stuff, I call them here and there. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, I mean that's kind of just a little bit about myself, Christopher. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear from you now, man.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I wouldn't say I have too much of a story like you, but I would say that my first year was definitely it was okay. I mean, I think I never really did much drinking or getting high or you know, like anything substances like that.
That's really
And
good.
most of that was just because of me. I felt like that I really wanted to stay focused, like if I was gonna do these things,
Mm-hmm.
I think for anything, as a matter of fact, I think moderation is important. Like it's okay if you do it one day out of the week, or maybe, when you're free, but you can't do it all the time or else it's going to take over your life. And
Correct.
so for the first year of college, that's literally how my entire mindset was. If like anyone was like, "Hey, you trying to do this?" I was like, "Nah, bro, I don't do that." And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do any of that for the whole first year. Second year, of course, I made some friends, so it was a little different. But even then, I don't let it control my life. It's not something that I do
Yeah.
like every day. It's not something that I like. I don't let it control me. You know what I mean?
Correct.
I don't. Um, but yeah, but I mean, first year was good. A lot of the classes, they weren't that bad. Um, but I think one thing that I will say that stood out to me in first year was that I kind of felt a little empty almost.
Mm-hmm.
where it's like there wasn't anything that I could really put my time to. It was just classes, and then once I got home, that was it. It
Mm-hmm.
was either just getting ready or looking at internships and looking kind of to see like where I'd want to go or what interests me in engineering. Looking at different programs I could be a part of, but other than that, there wasn't really anything I could spend my, or put my time into, like that I thought at least that I felt that was meaningful. Like, of course, I could go hang out with friends, I could go play basketball, do things like that, but there wasn't a lot of meaning in it. It was kind of just like things to pass the time. Um, my second year, kind of went much the same. Of course, it's only the first semester. But for most of the part, it was just a lot of studying, a lot of doing this. I will say that being a part of NSFI Corps has really almost kind of like it's given me some kind of meaning in things that I do because I have something outside of schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because as I was saying before, I'm paired with Professor Nee, and
Mm-hmm.
so he has a startup coming up for, like I said earlier, bioengineering with cell therapy, gene therapy.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the work he has to do is more like kind of marketing, where it's like we make flyers for him.
Mm-hmm.
We, of course, we're going to a conference December 6th, I think December 6th to 8th,
Mm-hmm.
for this, just to learn more about his technology. But anyways, yeah, so we just make flyers for him. A lot of the stuff is maybe marketing right now that we do for him. But I mean, even then, that's giving me kind of almost like it's giving me something to do, something to put my time into, you know?
No, yeah.
And it's been really interesting. I've been really enjoying it. And I think it's honestly, it's something new, something besides engineering, something besides like countless math problems and things like that, right? It's kind of
No,
like
yeah.
it feels good, It feels
No,
good to
definitely.
just kind of do something else and kind of almost like learn from it, because it's like I've never been super exposed to like all the professionalism and the business side of things, but being, there with them and talking about the plans for this startup and the next stages that it's going to reach is really interesting to me. And it's honestly kind of like, I wouldn't say eye-opening, but it's a new perspective that I've never seen before. And it really interests me, honestly, seeing how, marketing can kind of seeing how the marketing affects like almost like how we're gonna move in the next steps,
Oh,
and
yeah.
even then seeing how the next steps determine what you're doing now, it's just it's almost kind of like a sequence, and it really interests me. With that being said, I haven't done much my second year besides, of course, classes and the NSF Corps, but yeah, that's about it. I'm not really sure what else to talk about here.
No, I mean, yeah, you're good. I mean, thank you for, kind of, telling me a little bit
Mhm.
more about yourself. Um, something that I really took away, is that like I actually really resonated with you on this. My first
Mhm.
uh my first year, I felt really empty. I felt kind of like alone there, like,
Yeah,
my family's so far and then like, yeah, just classes and then after class it's like, I just do homework and then I come home, but it's like, what I do with all my free time, you're just kind of bored. You're like, all right, well, I did my homework, like
yeah.
what do I do now? I wanted to do more. I wanted like well
Mhm.
first like told me something in my head. I was like, all right, you know what? I want to create like an impact, a legacy here at UC Merced. I
Mhm.
want people to know who I am. I'm like, so I'm gonna join a club. I joined
Mhm.
business society. I've been part of it
Mhm.
now for I'd say like about a year now. I'm actually the director of the entrepreneurship department.
Nice.
And I'm that because I'm an entrepreneur, and I mean, I love to,
Yeah.
give
Mhm.
people advice on, like how they can, start up, like you said, kind of like your own startup little business. But
Mhm.
I'd say I wanted to do that, and in doing that, I was really exposed, to like, how to dress, professional, business
Mhm.
professional, business casual, smart casual, all these other like,
Mhm.
dress codes you can dress, and not just that, but like how to give someone a correct handshake,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
huge.
yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
like just little things like that, soft skills, but they
Mhm.
really helped me, sharpen my axe, I'd say, and because of that,
Yeah, they go a long way.
exactly. It goes a long way. Now that I knew all that stuff about like, business before, starting my own business and going into this, I was already kind of like had like a head start amongst like a bunch of
Mhm.
other people who've done this as well because I was already like, I already knew the dress codes. I already knew like,
Yeah,
kind of like
you had
that,
that foundation
yeah, I had like that
already.
little foundation, but
Mhm.
now when it came into actually starting a business, then it, it got a bit more, harder because, obviously when you try something new, it's
Oh
obviously
yeah.
hard for the first time. But
Yeah, I mean I get that. Yeah.
no, yeah. I mean, kind of like a follow-up question. I know I
Mm,
did say, I see this business, being able to, being the vehicle, to reach my
mm,
destination and retiring my parents. I say this because, not just of the business, but of the mentorship. This mentorship has really,
mm,
helped me go a long way, and it's still continuing to help me. Every meeting I go to, has been able to, uplift me in a positive manner. Just recently, I went to Visalia. It's like an hour and a half away from Merced, and I mean, being able to see like like keynote speakers speak up there,
mm,
people who've been doing this business for for like longer than 20
mm,
years now, has really also kind of gave me like that's like that motivation, that inspiration, to want to do more, and it kind of like
mm.
made me like plan out like my life, like how I want to live my
Yeah.
life, and
Mm,
I mean, I want to live like like a very like lavishly lifestyle, but
mm, mm,
like something that I want to live is a wealthy lifestyle because I can be
mm,
rich, I can have like a lavish lifestyle, but if I'm not wealthy, I won't have time to enjoy that that wealth. I won't
mm.
have time
Yeah.
to enjoy
You'll just be busy for
spending.
forever, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Like I want to have a nice Porsche, but I want to be able to enjoy it, not just drive it to and from work.
Mm.
So I mean, that's kind of like a question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of a question I had for you. Like how do you want to live your life?
How do I want to live? I mean, I think honestly, truthfully, if you asked me this like probably a year ago, I probably wouldn't have known what to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after spending some time and thinking about where I want to go and what I want to do, um, honestly, I think I do want to live true, kind of like you said, but I think more of it, I want to find something that truly that I truly enjoy. And I think that's part of why I started, taking interest into things like business and
Mm.
really getting myself out there because for a while, I just didn't know. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted to do per se. But I think what really changed that is, like I said, joining not only the NSFI Corps, but even my first year after it was done, I really felt like I'd achieved, or not that I've achieved nothing, but I felt like I hadn't really done anything,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
besides homework, besides classes, what else did I have to show in a way,
Yeah.
And I felt, like I said before, I felt empty.
Mm.
And I just really the way I want to live is I want to have something that I could put my time into that I really care about. Something that I could just, put my everything into and just work on it and see it flourish and see it get better and improve on it and make it into something that I'm proud of.
Okay. No.
And
Yeah.
so, and
Well.
I think, that could mean a lot of things. It's very vague.
Mhm.
But I honestly am fine with whatever it takes me, as long as I'm happy doing it. That's really all that matters to me.
Okay. No. Yeah. Definitely. And I mean, you know, you're not the first person to tell me that. I've heard that a lot of times. I would say the same as well.
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
obviously, what I want to do in my life is, something that makes you happy. Why? Because you don't want to be
mhm.
doing, something that isn't
Yeah,
making you happy. Yeah, it might make you money. It might, pay the bills, this and that. But I
mhm.
mean, are you really enjoying that?
Yeah, like I
No.
mean, I don't see a point. Like, let's say, for example, let's say I get a good job, gives me good money, I have good time. Like it's a little time consuming, but at the end of the day, I get more time, with my family, things like that. If I don't enjoy it, it's gonna become a hassle. It's gonna become like I'm gonna be 20 years down the line, I'm gonna look back at my life and I'm gonna be like, what was this for? Like, what did I even do
No, yeah.
besides, it's money? Like, sure, it's money, but like you said before, I mean, money comes and goes. You can make
Exactly.
it, you can get rid of it, but eventually it circles around, and I think that's very true. Um, and that's why I just want something fulfilling. And not only that, but I just want something that I can put my time into.
No, definitely, yeah. And I mean, kind of just adding on to what you said, I know you said you wanted like something fulfilling, and
Mhm,
that's why I really love this, opportunity because
mhm,
I kind of wanted that same feeling, because me
mhm,
personally, I love helping people. When I'm able to help
mhm,
someone, when I'm able to make someone happy, put a smile on their face,
mhm,
that makes me happy on the inside. And I feel like,
mhm,
that's kind of like leaving my small legacy, my small impact to that
mhm,
person. And you know, I want to, make a lot of people's lives fulfilling. So,
mhm,
like with this mentorship, I've been able to, to not only just, develop myself, but help develop
hmm
other young entrepreneurs, the
Yeah.
other young mind, like, sorry,
Like-minded people. Yeah,
like-minded
yeah.
individuals, exactly, yeah. And I feel good when I do it because people come up to me,
hmm
like in these events that I have, like just recently, I said I went to Visalia, but I'd say like what a day before that I went to San Jose, and then
hmm
I'd say a month ago, I went to SoCal and I was actually a
hmm
panel speaker there. And I was able to,
hmm
inspire a lot of,
hmm
people who are doing this business. And it felt insane because people were coming up to me asking me, quick, Christopher, how are you doing this? Like like you're in Merced, your HQ's in
hmm
San Jose. Like you're telling me you travel 2.5 hours to go speak to your coach. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, why do you do it? And I'm like, well, I mean, that's a great question, but I mean, everyone needs to have a why, like why they're doing this, why they're
hmm
doing that, and I do it
Yeah.
for my family. I do it because I want to give back to them, because I want to give my girlfriend that lifestyle she deserves.
hmm
I don't want my parents to be working, by the time they're 45 years old. And so every time I feel like I can't do something, I think about that. But
hmm
not only that, I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that without this mentorship. Why? Because
hmm
they've helped me set that goal. They've helped me, think about my why. They've pretty much like structured me to be like, okay, you know what? Like, do I want to live like a mediocre like lifestyle, or do I want to,
hmm
have like the ambition to want more? And I've always
hmm
wanted
Yeah.
that. So it's like I've always like
hmm
wanted more in life. I never wanted to just settle down, get a 9 to 5 job. And nothing wrong with that. I'm not putting anybody
hmm
down,
Oh yeah.
but that's just not for me.
100%. I get that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, because of that, you know, um, my mentor has, given me some great advice. And, he's helped me, like even develop a team in Merced now. Like I have a team of 3 people now. And,
hmm
we're all kind of, having like the same goals and ambitions. And, because of that, we travel to San Jose, we go to our
hmm
meetings, this and that. But I mean, just being able to, add value to other people makes me feel great. And I mean, that's
hmm
essentially what I'm trying to do here. I mean, let's
Yeah.
say like, yeah, you're doing this process, but maybe it's not for you. At
Yeah.
least I
No.
know I was able to add
100%.
some value to
hmm
you that you were able to take with you. And because I mean, have I asked you for anything so far?
No, and I mean that's great. You're only kind of giving, and that's
No,
great.
exactly. And essentially
I think.
throughout this whole process, I'm not gonna
mm
ask you for any money. And hopefully you don't
mm.
ask me for any money.
Yeah.
No,
No.
yeah. I mean, literally the only thing I will ask you for is your
mm
time to see if
Yeah.
you're willing to invest your time into,
mm
this I'd say how long-term asset that you can slowly be
mm
building up. Because I can tell you right now, this isn't a get rich quick opportunity, like you're not
Oh
gonna,
no,
yeah,
it's gonna take a while. I think.
exactly.
I'm honestly one thing that really stood out to me. So I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're good.
one thing that really stood out to me about what you said is that like your why. Because recently because of course I told you that as a part of my corps, I have to go to every single one of their events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so recently they held an event where a small business owner from Merced actually came and talked to us. And one of the things that she adamantly said over and over again was remember your why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember why you're doing it. Remember what got you started. Because, one thing she was talking about is that there's a lot of times where she struggled a lot, where
Yep.
she felt like she wasn't really, like, she was confused. She didn't know where she was going, and she felt like it was all for nothing. And she
Exactly.
said that in those times, what helped her out was remembering her why, remembering what got her this far, why she started it in the first place, and why she needs to keep going still.
No,
And I
yeah,
think that's
definitely.
really, I think that's really almost like it's, it's it's an important part. It's something that not a lot of people kind of think about or even have. And it's just it's it's something that I noticed that you were talking about too. It's just that the connection, that why is very important.
No, yeah, definitely. And I mean, I appreciate, like sharing that out with me, having
Mm-hmm.
a why. But yeah, I mean, I love that, that you kind of, you were able to firsthand experience that. So, I mean, that kind of like also, I would say make this process a little bit easier if you had your
Mm-hmm.
own why. Because a lot of people come in here starting this business and they don't even know why they're doing it. Oh, yeah, I want some
Yeah,
money. Oh, I want this. I want like surface level things. But
yeah,
let's say like something happens in this business, your tree gets shaken. Boom. All right, you know what? It's
yeah.
not for me. I don't want to do anymore.
They're gonna be on. Yeah, one
Exactly.
scale is done for them.
Exactly, because this like the reason why I love this business is because we're gonna be here when it's up and when it's down. So, that's why we
You're gonna
want
be.
people who are, serious about building this business because, we want them to have a strong why. And it's okay if you don't have a strong why yet.
Mm,
We help you develop your why. We really make you
mm,
think. We kind of like make you critically think like, okay, you know what? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Why do you do this? Why do you go to college? Why
mm,
do you want that degree? Your parents or this or that,
mm,
whatever reason it may be, but we try to help you identify your why. We don't just kind of throw you in, all right, you know what, do this, do that, do this. Like,
mm,
this is why I love it so much because it's not just a mentorship with business. If I'm being
mm.
completely honest, it's a whole life 360 mentorship because once you gain
Yeah.
this mentorship, we help you with life. I've had girlfriend issues and I'm able to bring it up with my coach, with my business partners, and they don't just like, oh, okay, brush me off. They listen to me. They tell me
Mm,
what I need to hear and not what I want
mm.
to hear. So
Yeah.
that's also why I really value this, and that's why we have a 7 step selection process because
Mm.
you think I'm gonna be able to like understand you and get to know you, just in one meeting, get to know like
Yeah, no, it's gonna take a while, and even then, halfway through, I might not even be, down. Like we might be on the 7th one, and I'm like, you know what? No, guys, I
no,
get what you
yeah,
mean.
exactly, yeah, and I mean that's something that like my coach really pointed out because if I'm being completely
Mm,
honest, I was in like what the fourth or like the fifth step, and I was like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna drop this isn't for me, and the reason why was because my parents were like, we don't want you doing this, you're gonna be investing
mm,
your time, we want you to do school, and if I'm being completely
mm,
honest with you, my girlfriend didn't support me, my parents didn't support me, no one,
mm,
my best friend didn't believe in me about this business, no one really believed in me, not until
mm,
the third month that I was doing this business. I had a huge grand opening, very successful grand opening, made over eleven hundred
mm,
dollars, and everybody's like,
mm,
"Oh wow, Chris! He's developed himself, the way he dresses, the way he carries
mm.
himself, like he's making money, this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, but where was that when I wanted to start?"
Yeah,
My
like complete
parents
360 from before.
exactly, and my parents were like, no, you know what, mijo, like keep doing this. Like we love to
Mm.
see you that you dress professional. We love to see you, like going out this and that, and you're making
Yeah.
money. It's working for you. Keep doing it. And I'm like,
Mm,
okay, great. So now that I have my parents' support, my girlfriend's support, my friends' support now, they're like, oh,
mm,
Chris, like keep going, like do it. So it's just like you're gonna go through a lot of hardships at first, and everyone
mm.
does. I mean, me, I had to go through a lot of things growing up. I feel like going through that so early on has helped me, go through this like through this business a lot quicker than most other people, and
Yeah, 100%.
that kind of leads me to like my next question. I wanted to ask you, like, do you have any experience with mentorship, or like when you need advice,
Mm.
like who do you go to?
That's also really funny because just recently, um, for NSF Corps, actually, I'm a leader in the program for my group, and
Okay.
so we have meetings every Friday or
Okay.
every other Friday.
Okay.
And this last meeting, someone came in to talk to us. It was I'm not sure. She was a coach. I think she was a coach for. I'm sorry, I'm so blanking right
No,
now.
you're
But
good. You're
anyway,
good, man.
she came to talk to us, and one thing that she really talked about was mentorship and what mentorship actually is, and
Yeah.
how it's not just kind of like a one-way street, that it's a two-way
It's
street,
a
that they
two-way
learn
street.
from you and
Mhm.
you learn from them,
Mhm.
and that it's not something that you could also just force. Like I can't just go up to you and be like, "Hey, you want to be my mentor?" Like it's not. It's something that comes from both sides. Like it's something that happens naturally, like any other relationship. And one thing she asked us was, who are your mentors in life? And that really kind of resonated with me because I mean, I really couldn't think of anyone for a bit. Like I couldn't think of anyone that I could really like look up to and be like, you know what, this is someone that's my mentor per se. But I think that was because of the way I was thinking about it.
Mhm.
Um, I think I was thinking about it as in like a mentor being someone that, like, I don't know, like someone from engineering or something like that, or someone from, like advising or someone that has, a job or that's already settled in, right? But that's not what a mentor is. I think a mentor is just almost anyone that's helped you in your life. And I feel like someone that's really big that I forgot about that I really think is my mentor is my mother. Because honestly, no matter what, she's always there for me.
Mhm.
She's always there. She's always there to support me. Whenever I have a problem, she's always the first one there.
Mhm.
Whenever anything is going on with me, whenever I have any troubles, whenever I'm sad, whenever I don't know what I'm doing, whenever I'm not feeling the best, she's always there for me. She's always there for me with some advice, with, something to eat, maybe anything, something to always kind of bring me up and keep me going. And I think that she's, someone that I haven't appreciated enough and someone that I haven't really thought of as my mentor, but I think she really is. She's someone that really helps me out in life and in just anything for that matter. She's, and so I would say that my biggest mentor, while I don't really have one in say engineering or business like kind of like you have, I would say that I do have my mother and that
Hmm.
she's been a big impact in what I do because like I said, no matter what, she's always on my side. She's always pushing me to go forward. She's always telling me that I can do it.
Hmm.
And, that's really big. That's really huge, especially when you're down, when you're not feeling about it. Having someone to be there to say, hey, it's okay. You can do it. Like, that's, it's really helpful, and it really gets you through dark times.
No, yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that, Christopher. I mean, I know we
Mm.
just met each other today, but I mean, we're getting kind of, I
Yeah,
would like,
yeah.
we're getting more on like a personal level. But I appreciate you really sharing
Mm,
that out with me. I know, like, I appreciate the transparency, and
mm,
similar, like, very similar to my mother, my father. I would like before this mentorship, I called them my
mm,
mentors, and then my
mm,
business partner was like, "All right, why do you call me your mentors?" And I was like, oh, well, just like you, they've always been there for me when I need financial advice, when I need this advice, any type
mm,
of advice I needed. When it was coming to sports, my mom would drive me to my games. Come on, mijo, you
mm,
can do it. This and that, literally yelling on the sidelines for me. And like anything I needed, they're always there, no matter what. They're
mm,
always gonna support their kids. But
mm,
something he told me, like my business partner told me, that
mm,
really also like impacted me was like what I would call my mentor, like something that my or someone who I would call my mentor
mm,
has to be someone, and they need to have something that I don't have.
mm,
And with my mentor now, I call him my mentor because why? He has that lifestyle that I want.
mm.
So,
Yeah,
I can call him my
100%.
mentor. And, I'm not putting my parents down at all. I love my parents so
Mm,
much. But now when it comes to, you know, advice or coming to, having to ask certain
mm,
questions, you know, I'm being honest. I don't really go to them that much anymore. I used to,
mm,
like my whole life, but I
mm,
kind of stopped asking him so many questions because he really, like, he told me this, and I really didn't think about it at all. He's like, "Don't you think if you always took your parents' advice, if you asked them like, oh, advice for this, for this, for that, for that, don't you think you would end up just like them?"
yeah, no, that's 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 something. I mean, that's truthfully, that's something that I thought about too, and I think that's why I've said this before, but I think that's why I'm branching out so much. What I want to do and kind of be a part of so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. I mean, you're right. If you take the advice from someone, like you're gonna end up in the same position as them. That's what advice is. It kind of leads you a certain way.
Exactly.
Um, And so that's, I mean, like I said before, that's why I wanted to branch out so much because I want those new experiences. I want to
Mm-hmm.
experience other sides that they haven't experienced before. I want to go and see new things that they've never seen. And yeah.
Well, I like the way you think, Christopher, because that's exactly like what the idea I had. Because me personally, yeah, I took my parents' advice, but I was always ambitious for more. If I'm being completely
Mm,
honest, when I was offered, like, when I was, yeah, offered this opportunity, it was my
mm,
last year it was my last year of college, like the second to last week before school ended. My business
mm,
partner, his name is Tona, he reached out to
mm,
me, and he's like, oh, like, would you be interested in doing this and that on LinkedIn? Almost how
mm,
how I
mm,
reached out to you.
mm,
And we had meetings. I met up with him, and I was doing that. Like, I was starting to do that. I was doing some other
mm,
opportunity as well. I was like, starting to work full time. And so it was a lot of like stress, a lot of pressure on me. And something that helped me
mm,
realize is like, Christopher, you're too ambitious. That's gonna be your
mm,
downfall. You want this, you want that. You
mm.
put so much food on your plate,
Yeah.
but you can't eat it all. And
Mm,
that's why I really like this mentorship, because they help you develop yourself, and they don't tell you in a way to put you down. They tell you in a way because they want to help you. They want to
yeah,
help you
no,
succeed. And
it's
kind of
like that
like how you
constructive criticism. Yeah.
exactly, and like how you said, it's a two-way street, like,
Mm,
I'm gonna help you, but only if you're gonna help me, So that's why, like,
mm,
I'd say what made my process, very quickly, I had a lot of transparency, maybe not at
mm,
first because I was just getting to know them, but once I was like,
mm,
I think like after the third step, the fourth step in the process, any little thing
mm,
that like would happen, or like a little minor setback, I would let you know the person who reached
mm,
out to me know, Tona, and he, I
mm,
mean. he's not just a business partner. He's like, I'd say a really good friend of mine, someone I can truly call my
Yeah,
friend.
no.
And even
I
my
think
girlfriend really likes him. She's like, oh, he's a real good friend because my girlfriend has seen my old association. She's like, yeah, you shouldn't
mm,
put yourself with these people. But she's just seen how like he texts me before, like when he says, oh, Chris, how are you doing this, and that. He checks up on me like a friend,
mm,
not just oh
yeah.
business, business, business. Like he actually cares about me, and
Mm,
that's kind of just like
yeah.
the big reason. But I mean, thank you for sharing that experience. Like
Mm,
how your parents is like your mentorship.
mm,
I kind of wanted to kind of like go on to like just ask you like one more question.
mm,
Um, I kind of like touched on it a little bit how I want to live like a wealthy lifestyle. How
mm,
I want to be financially free. I want to be able to
mm.
retire my parents because to be able to retire my parents, I need to be
Yeah,
retired
you need to be
myself.
able to. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I kind of just wanted to ask like what does financial freedom mean to you? And there's no right or
Financial
wrong
freedom.
answer because
Mm.
I've heard a lot of different
It's
answers.
it's yeah, it's different for everyone.
Exactly.
Financial freedom. I mean, to me, I mean, I've heard that term a lot, and I think truly what it means to me is being able to, almost in a sense, do what you want to do with it. Like, for example, like if I wanted to invest this much amount of money into something that I really believe in, financial freedom would let me do that. If I want to start a new project because it's something like a passion project, because it's something that, I feel like I need in my life, financial freedom again would let me do that. If I want to, spoil my girlfriend, get her the things she wants in life,
Mm-hmm.
financial freedom is gonna let me do that. If I want to get my parents a nice gift for Christmas, make them like help them feel that appreciation that I feel like they deserve. Financial freedom is gonna help me do that. Um, and I think to answer it, I think financial freedom is exactly what it is. It's freedom to do what you want. Freedom to go where you want, freedom to invest in what you want, freedom to start what you want, freedom to get people in your life that are important to you what they want. It's I wouldn't say it's like almost a life purpose, but I think it's like almost kind of like what you said before. It's that car to get you to the destination, um,
Exactly.
and where it's almost like it's what allows you to be and kind of pursue what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Christopher. Like that's like very similar to mine. Financial freedom. The freedom to do whatever you want financially. But another reason why I like that term so much is because financial freedom to me is having the time to enjoy
Mm-hmm.
that freedom of the finances. Because most
Mm-hmm.
people nowadays, yeah, they might be financially free, but do they have time
Yeah, they're
to
not like actually free.
exactly? Because why?
Mm-hmm.
They have a boss, they have a job, they have a 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said earlier, I'm not putting it down. I've worked 9 to 5s before. I know how it
Yeah,
feels.
no,
And when I was in that environment, talking to my coworkers, oh, I've been here for 20 years. I'm like, I'm
20 years,
18. Like,
like
I'm
yeah,
19. Like,
like you
I'm not
didn't
trying to be here for that long. So I'm like, what the heck,
like, and
Yeah.
even if I was to be here that long, like, wouldn't you want more? Like, wouldn't you want to go up
Right.
higher? Wouldn't you want to like
Yeah. And
be something more than just at this position?
no, exactly. And I'm like, wow, like I'm like, that shocked me. I'm like, I just
Mhm.
like entry level bank teller, and you've been like an assistant manager
You've
for
been
like,
here for
yeah,
my
like,
whole life, pretty
yeah,
much.
like you've been here like since I was born. Like me personally, like I would not want that. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, so that's pretty much like, kind of like the questions I wanted to kind of just like, really ask you, get to just kind of like get to know you a little bit more. And I know I did mention my mentor. I'm sorry, I didn't even say his name. His name
Mhm.
is Phil, by the way. I could just
Yeah.
give you like
Mhm.
some little background on him. His name is Phil. He's actually
Mhm.
he's an international student.
Oh, okay.
He came from Vietnam um,
Mhm.
to here to the country when I believe he was 17 years old. And
Oh,
yeah, so he came with nothing. He came with
mhm.
no money. He came with no English. Only speak
Mhm.
Vietnamese, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
got
that's
yeah,
tough, man.
and he got like a dishwasher job,
Mhm.
and he actually went to San Jose State University. That's why he came. He came for education, and
Mhm.
once he was 18, he started his own business there at San Jose State, and he kind of just started building himself up, and I'd say
Mhm.
like from coming to this country, I starting his business at 18, coming at 17, like come to find out he actually retired himself when he was 22 years old.
Oh, that's honestly that sounds great. That sounds amazing. Like that sounds like
It sounds like surreal almost. Like it sounds fake.
yeah, like,
Like yeah,
yeah,
no.
like wow.
Like I kind of want to ask you, like, how many people you know that retired at 22 years old?
No, and honestly, like the only the only even business owners that I know or like store owners are like my dad and my aunt and uncle and their kids, and that's it. And even then, they haven't retired themselves. They still work on it. They still work every day.
No, exactly. And so yeah,
Mm,
so I mean, like he retired himself at 22, but it didn't stop there. I was like, okay, maybe that's it. He retired his mom at 23, and then he
mm,
retired his dad at 24. And at the age of 25, he was able to sponsor both of his parents and fly them from Vietnam here to the US. And I'm not sure if you know how much it is to sponsor someone.
no,
Just one person.
that's
He sponsored
amazing.
two
No.
people. It's a lot of money to sponsor two
Yeah,
people to
no,
come.
that's
Yeah. And
and even then, to be able to do that all by yourself is just like that's great. That's amazing.
no,
That's an
exactly.
accomplishment.
Yeah, no, and it is a huge accomplishment, Uh,
Mm,
he went through a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, and
mm,
he, I wouldn't say he did it by himself because he had this mentorship, he had the guidance, but he was able to
mm,
develop teams and develop, businesses all around the
mm,
world. He has a business in
yeah.
Toronto, Canada. He has a business in Texas. He has businesses in Vietnam. He has businesses here in California.
Mm,
So, he's really been able to, diversify his income, not just here in California, but in
mm.
different states. And that's
Yeah,
because
no,
I
and
say made him so
that's huge.
successful.
That really is.
Exactly. And, he's not like, oh, like how you think like a businessman, cynical, cruel. Like he doesn't step on other people.
Mm,
No, he'll take the time out of his day just, to speak to people who
mm,
really want his advice. Because, something that my business partner told me and that really stood out to me about him was that when my business partner Tona, when he first met him, he
mm,
met him at like an event. I've been to many like in-person events, but my coach has personal ties with him, so
mm,
my partner Tona, he was able to actually, go behind stage, get to meet him, and he asked him, he was like, "Hey Phil," he was like, "Do you think I can, get mentored by you, if what you're doing is
mm,
legal and ethical?" And he was like, "Okay." He was like, "Hey Tona, how are you?" He's like, "Many people ask me that question every single day.
mm,
What makes you different than
mm.
them?" And he kind of just left him speechless, like in shock. He was like, he was like,
No, and that's
yeah,
huge. It's
no,
always important to kind of like differentiate yourself.
exactly. And, he was in a room full of professionals. So he's like a young 18-year-old. He's like thinking, what's going to differentiate me? He pulled out his phone, pulled out his resume. Oh, well, I have this. He's like, no, I don't care about
Mm,
that. He's like, you know how many people lie on their resume every single year?
mm.
And
Yeah,
he pretty much told
it's
him, he was like, what makes you different is if you have integrity,
mm,
accountability, work ethic. If what you
mm,
say you're gonna do matches what you do, matches your
mm.
actions. So it's like he didn't care about your credentials, whatever it is. He just cared about okay, you know,
Almost kind of like where you're going and what you
exactly
want
like
to.
he wants to work with people who have goals and values in life,
Mm,
and people who are ambitious about that.
mm,
And
yeah,
me, I kind of checked
100%.
all those boxes off because I was like, you know what, like I'm someone who's honest, like I'm never gonna backstab you,
Yeah.
and so it's like that's pretty much like a little bit more
Mm,
like about like my mentor. um
mm.
but yeah, I
I
mean
mean, he
like
sounds like a great guy.
no, yeah, he really is. I remember my first event I
Mm,
went to, it was actually in San Jose. My mom drove
mm.
me to the event, and my mom was like, I wasn't gonna drive myself. My mom was like, no, I'm gonna take you. Like, what if these people kidnap you? What if they steal you? This and I'm like, Mom, they're not gonna steal me. They're not gonna kidnap me. I'm like, if they were to rob me, like they're just gonna take my suit. What do I got? I'm a broke college student. I got no
Yeah,
money.
like, I don't have nothing else to offer them now.
No, yeah. And so the meeting started at like 7. I got there like 8:30, and I was late
Mm,
to the meeting. And I remember I passed out on the way over there. My mom was driving me. She's like, "Oh, you passed out." She's like, "Oh, we're here." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, where are we?" I just fell asleep in the suit. I'm like, "Wait, what am I doing?" She's like, "Oh, we're here." I'm like, "Wait, where? Here? Where?" She's like, "Go to the meeting now." I'm like, "All right." I get out of the car, have a little notebook, my pen. I'm ready to take notes.
mm,
I go out. I'm like, "Okay, wait, like where are we?" I go in there, completely different environment than what I've ever experienced
mm,
before. It was amazing. I loved it. I just went to one again recently. I took my team,
mm,
and the environment is awesome. It's just uplifting.
mm,
No one ever puts you down in this business, and
mm,
that's the reason why I love it so much. Because every time you go there, people are like, "Oh, what's new about your career?" Like this and this and that, and so
mm,
it's a great environment. And I actually met my mentor Phil there for the first
mm.
time. I was speechless. I was like, "Oh, wait, hold on!" Like no one told me I was gonna
This
meet
guy's
this
a
guy.
real man?
Yeah, and then Tono was all like, actually like, "Oh, you know what? Like you're gonna meet Phil. He's here. I'm like, wait, what? Like, wait, huh? Like, I was like, I can breathe. I was like, all right. I've seen so many videos of him. I've actually seen like a lot of like
Mhm.
read books that stuff like that that he's like mentioned to read, and I shake his hand. He's like, oh, I was like, Christopher. Like I was all here stuttering. Like, oh, I didn't even know how to introduce
Yeah,
myself. I
no.
forgot what my name was. He's like, oh, like nice to meet you. And then I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, like this is really him. I'm feeling being completely honest. I forgot the question that I asked him. I know I asked him a question, but I kind of forgot what it was. If I ask him, he'll most likely remember what I asked him.
Mhm.
But that was just like one of the events I went to. Like it was like the third step in the process. Like it's like
Mhm.
we kind of like show you more about the business, like who we're
Mhm.
partnered with, how the money works. But I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, essentially, that this is like kind of just like the first step in the process. I got to know a little bit
Mhm.
about you. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you, like, do you have any questions, comments, concerns as of right now?
Um, the only question I will say is I'm curious, what do the other steps kind of look like? Like, what are, if I mean, if you want to say,
No,
like,
yeah,
what,
definitely.
what, mm,
That's actually a great question. I love that you asked that question. I asked the same
yeah,
question when I was in the
yeah.
process, and no, if I'm being completely honest with you, since then to now, and no one has ever asked me that question. So I love that you're asking me that. So
That's funny. That's great.
the second step, we're gonna show you our
Mhm.
business model,
Okay.
how we structure our business.
Mhm.
So I
Okay.
mean, I was actually gonna ask I was gonna ask you when you're free, so we can just book a meeting for the next time you'd like to meet. We'll show you the
Okay. Yeah.
business model, the structure. And then I think there might be one. We might have one soon this week. I can stay more in touch with you, but
Okay. Yeah. That sounds
yeah.
great.
So essentially, the third step would kind of be like how the money works. You know,
Mhm.
what companies and what partnerships we have with other places. Because I could just give you
Mhm.
a little bit of a sneak peek. We're partnered with Nike, and we have a lot of other
Oh.
we have a lot of other big name that we're partnered with.
Mhm.
I don't want to tell you too much information. I mean, I want to see if you're actually gonna go follow through with the
Oh yeah.
business.
No.
With
100%.
with
Keep
the
me in the
structure.
dark. I'll see it when I get
And
there.
no, yeah, definitely. The fourth step is essentially like our follow up one after you see pretty much
Mhm.
everything about the business.
Mhm.
That's we kind of just help you. We help you make a schedule. We help you make a
Mhm.
budget sheet. Because we really want to help you here. Like this is actually like a
Mhm.
partnership. It goes both ways. So it's like we help you. Make a what's it called again? Yeah, we help you make like a budget sheet. Like I've never had a
Mhm.
budget sheet, so when they help me make one, I'm like, oh dang, I spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
They help me
Mhm.
make my schedule for my school, every
Mhm.
little thing. Like when I drive to the store, like I put that in there because
Mhm.
to them, my coach, time is very valuable. So it's like, we
Yeah,
need
no,
everything that you
100%
do
it
in,
is.
in, in your 7 days, and they
It
make you,
matters, you know.
yeah, and they make you create like a consistent, structure with it. The fifth step
Mhm.
is like, we show you like the ROI, like the return on investment with this business compared
Mhm.
to other businesses. Um,
Mhm.
and then we have the sixth and seventh steps. The seventh step is like like the offer call, and to see if ready to launch your business. The sixth step is kind of just
Mhm.
after the fourth step. I'm being honest. You're gonna feel like, oh, it's really repetitive. Like I'm just doing this. I'm just
Mhm.
listening to audios. I'm listening to books. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, it's kind of because after the fourth step, we really get to see who you are, to see if what you
Yeah.
say is gonna match what you do. Because if I'm being honest, it took me 2 months to get through this process, but it took my
Mhm.
business partner a total of 4 months. So don't be like him.
Mhm.
Maybe be like me, but it's all up to you.
Yeah.
My coach took 3 weeks. So
Mhm.
it just depends on how bad you want it and how bad you want to learn.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
if you show us that you want to learn, we're gonna give you materials to learn more. Because
Yeah, 100%.
after today, I actually wanted to send you a video from my mentor.
Mhm.
It's called Why Entrepreneurship, and it
Mhm.
pretty much. I mean, I asked that question like, what caught your interest? So you're gonna be able to
Mhm.
get the chance, to have a video of my mentor speaking. It should be like about like these 8 different categories and like a circle. But yeah, I mean, I'll send you that material. I recommend taking some notes on it.
Mhm.
Maybe writing down like some takeaways, things that really caught your
Yeah.
interest,
Important
and
things
then
I see, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then you can kind of just relay them back to me. But I actually want to ask is there like a better way I can stay in contact with you? Just because I mean, I
Yeah.
am on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
I don't check it like super super often.
Yeah, I don't really check LinkedIn that often too. If it's okay with you, I could share with you my number and we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
stay in contact
You could
that
just
way.
send me your phone number or tell me here or type it in chat, whatever you feel
Yeah,
more
I
comfortable.
got you right now. Are you on your phone right now?
Yeah, yeah. I have my phone pulled up right here.
Okay. Okay, so it's 916
916
895
895
and then 9359.
9359. All right. just send you a message. Christopher. All right. Let me see. All right. I just sent you a message right now. You can
Oh,
do
yeah,
it.
I just got it.
All right. Yeah, for sure. You can just save that. Save that number. That's
Mm-hmm.
my personal mobile number. And yeah, I mean, I'll send you some material. Oh, but I actually want to ask you, when's like the next time you think you'll be available? Obviously not Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The next time, okay, so I'm good for Friday. I don't have anything planned currently Friday.
Okay.
But if not this week, next week, I'm not sure. Because next week I have to go to the conference, like I was telling you, on
Mhm.
the December 6th and the 8th. And even then, Wednesday, I have a meeting with the professor.
Mhm.
So really, if we were going to do next week, if this week doesn't work, it would have to be Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday.
Mhm.
Um, and then the week after that, I'm free. I have nothing planned then. So if this week or next week doesn't work, we could always do 2 weeks from now because I'm
Yeah.
completely free then.
Okay. Yeah.
So
No. Yeah. So I mean, usually we know we like to kind of keep the steps, a little bit close to each other. Next week, kind of like would be like the
mm,
latest. On Friday, you said what time you have
yeah.
available on Friday?
Um, let's see. I think around this time should work well. Like 1 or 2, if that works for you.
Okay. Yeah.
We could always change it. I'm good. I'm pretty flexible Friday. I say there's nothing really going on.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this meeting, was probably like it's like an hour long. The next one would be like an hour and a half, 2 hours max. That's like pushing it.
Mm,
I really don't think it's gonna be that long. Um, but yeah, the next meeting will actually, I'll introduce you to my business partner Tona. I know I've mentioned him a few times.
mm,
He's very similar to me,
yeah.
Hispanic background. He's from San Jose.
Mm,
So
oh,
I'd introduce you to him, and
wow.
yeah, I mean, I'll put it right now in my calendar for Friday at
Mm,
1 o'clock. But I'll get back
yeah.
to you. I'll see if he's available at that time. If not, then we can do
Mm,
next week. But
mm.
yeah, I mean, it was amazing speaking with you today, Christopher. Getting to know
It
you a
was
little
nice
bit
speaking
more.
with you too. Yeah, it was definitely it was great. It was great getting to know you and getting to know a little bit more about your background.
Oh yeah.
Even hearing about your business partners and your mentors, it was great. I look forward honestly to the next steps, and I'll definitely keep in touch about the meeting and what times if it ever changes.
No, yeah, definitely. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to mention. I'll send you the material. It's like an hour
Mm,
long video, like 50 something minutes. I think
mm,
like an hour long
mm.
max. I want to ask you, like, when do you think you'd have it done by?
Like all the watch the video full and get the notes.
Yeah.
Um, Probably by tonight, honestly.
I love the ambition.
Mm,
No, yeah. I mean, something I could recommend. Just kind of like
mm,
well, at least what I did is I'll try to just have it done before
mm,
we met up the next time. But if you did it tonight, I mean,
mm,
that'd be great. Like, I mean, that's
mm,
awesome. But yeah, I mean, once you're done with those notes, if you don't finish them today, that hopefully you do.
mm.
If you do, then
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you could just send them to me. I'll send you the. Would you? I'm gonna send the video to your phone number
Mm.
if that's all right.
Good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. Then I'll
I'll
yeah.
definitely have it before Friday, though. If
Okay,
not
no, yeah,
tonight, I'll have it
no, yeah,
before
definitely.
Friday.
I mean, I just don't want you, like, like stacking a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff on
yeah,
yourself. I mean, I know it's the break. I know,
yeah.
you want to have some fun. But yeah, no, just have it, ready before we meet the next time. Just, I can,
Mm,
show Tona, see what notes you
yeah.
took. But yeah, I mean, thank you for, joining today, Christopher, and I
No,
appreciate,
thank you, man.
sharing
It
about
was
yourself.
honestly a great experience. It was great. They took the time out of your day, especially when even after I got the meeting time wrong.
It's all
Um,
right.
but no, it was a great experience. I'm really looking forward to what's next, and it was great meeting you, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Likewise. All right then, Christopher. You have a good rest of your day. Have a good Thanksgiving as
You
well.
too, man.
And yeah, I'll send you the
Uh,
material, and we could just stay in touch, right?
yeah, we can stay in touch. Definitely let me know about Friday if anything changes. But
Yeah.
yeah, have a great week, Thanksgiving. I'll see you Friday, man.
All right. See you Friday, man. Have a good
Yeah, you too.
one.